Hello, my name is Cheryl Ponchin. I'd like to welcome you back to the final lesson for the TUG 2020 Beginners LaTeX Workshop. We're going to call this lesson Helpful Hints. So first, I would like to show you how to reset a counter. So if you remember in our previous lesson, we changed the to be Roman numerals for the section numbers, but they're going in sequential order with the alpha numerals. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset the counter so the Roman numerals will begin with 1 and 2 versus 5 and 6. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to uncomment out my counter. So set counter is what I want to reset. And I want to reset the section because I'm setting the section number and I'm setting it to 0. So 0 means the next number. It jumps to the next number, which will be 1. Had I wanted to set it to 3, I would have put the number 2. So now I'm going to rerun my file. And you'll notice now this is number 1 and the next Roman numeral is number 2. However, my next one is 3. But I really want to keep this in the convention of the last one that I used in this formatting. So that was in section 4. So I really want this to be in 5. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to reset this counter to 4. So now this will become 5 and will be in sequential order. So I will save this and recompile. And so now I have my Roman numerals isolated for whatever reason. And now my section numbers are going to be in sequential order. So there's another thing I'm going to show you because it's happening right here. If you notice, I have this box right here, and it's telling me that I have an overfull box. So I have an overfull box because I've actually done \large to make my my words larger for this purpose of these lessons. But what's happening is everything is going over the line. So if it goes over the line, it's going to tell you that there's an overfull box. So it's telling me that I have an overfull box at line 101. So this is actually this one here. So let's go to line 101. And depending on your editor, it will tell you the line number, but you'll have to see how it works with your editor. So here's 101. Now I actually, because I wanted this to be in a verbatim mode, I did a \verb instead of begin verbatim, end verbatim. And this little plus sign here starts and the plus sign ends my verbatim. So you see it's in text font. However, it's too wide because it's going over the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a no indent here. And I'm going to take this out. And I'm going to recompile. And you'll notice I'm not getting it on that line anymore. It's actually jumping to another line because that line is also overfull. So if I go down, but this line has now not overfull, and I will show you right here. If you can see now, it's actually inside my margin. It's right inside the margin. Okay, so the next one's telling me overfull is line 111. So let's go to line 111. And 111 is right here. And it's telling me now that this line is overfull. So I can fix those lines and these will disappear. The reason my paper is like this, so you can see this is way over the margin. So the reason that this is happening is because I actually am changing my fonts, but this can happen at any given moment when you're trying to do something. So I'd also like to show you that you can do line breaks. So let's go to, see. So right here, if you notice, I did a verb and it's just too long. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do \line break. And I'm going to recompile my paper. And it's going to put this on a new line. However, it is very possible. So here, I'm also going to do a line break. But notice, because of where I did this line break, it's stretching my whole line. So I can, what if I don't want to stretch my whole line, but I want all my information just to be closer together? I can change this line break to an H fill break. And recompile my document here. And you'll notice it will H-fill my line and it will then break my line. So of course, I really don't want my file to look like this, but there is a way where you can fix your line spacing. Okay, so now I'm going to go to, I had mentioned earlier that I was going to show you how to change a footnote symbol. So let's look for the footnote. Okay, so here we have our footnote. And let me go over, let's recompile this right now. Okay, and this is going to bring me to my footnotes here. So what I'm going to show you here, excuse me, is that when you do your regular footnote, it's going to start with a 1, 2, 3. You can change this footnote by changing the renew command, and then you can also change the set counter, just like we did with our sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a renew command, the footnote, and we're going to change it to ALF footnote. So what will happen there, if I don't reset the counter and I've already had a footnote, I'll show you what will happen. What's going to happen here, see if I can make this a little bigger. It changes it to a B because we already had a 1. So it's going to sequentially number it, only it will change it the format. So instead of being a 2, it's going to be a B. But let's say we want it to be A. So what we would have to do is reset our counter like we did earlier. And now it will be an A. So the next one will be a B. However, everything's going to be this way unless you change it back to the numbers. So I also wanted to show you that you can change the footnote symbol. So here I'm doing also, again, a renew command of the footnote, and I'm changing it to a dagger. So if I want to do that, the next time I have a footnote, spelling here, next time I have a footnote, it's going to show up as a dagger. So that's a quick way to change your styles if you wish. So now I'm going to show you some errors. So I've created, I've put some theorems in here, and I'm going to go down to where the theorems are. Okay, so here's my begin theorem, end theorem. Well, my file's been checking just perfectly fine. However, what if you do a begin and remember I told you you have to do an end? So let's say, I'm going to comment this out. So let's say you forget to put your end theorem and you go to compile your paper. Oh, now we have an error message. So the error message is telling me that I have a begin theorem ended by end document. That means it kept looking for the next one, until it got to the end document. So now this is telling me this is actually the end document line. but it's also telling me what line I started my theorem on. So if I do go to that line, of course, I would notice that I don't have my end theorem. So now I'm going to put my end theorem. I'm not getting my message anymore, and everything is working out perfectly fine. So you just have to remember, if you have a begin, you have to have an end, whether it is a $sign, whether it's a environment, it doesn't matter. But if you do not have both, then you're going to get an error message. I hope you've enjoyed our helpful hints, and I hope you enjoyed our workshop. Thank you very much.